Keeping It Real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. Hello, Madam Vice President.
Rev, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very well.
Well, we're honored that you called in, and we always are very happy. We've been watching your movements, but I'm excited to hear about this tour, a nationwide economic opportunity tour that you announced that you're kicking off in Atlanta on the 29th of April. Tell us about it.
Yes, sir. Well, I decided that I wanted to get out of D.C. and get into the neighborhood, into the community, and let people know about what we can do to give folks the support they need to realize their ambitions and dreams that are about building businesses, about growing their wealth, about access to capital. And so I'm kicking it off in Atlanta, and it's going to be about giving folks information about some of the work that I've been doing for years, actually, which is increasing access to capital around the amount of money we're putting in community banks. We're going to have booths that will be staffed by people from the Small Business Association to remind people about the kinds of loans that are available. We recently, for example, got rid of the prohibition on previously incarcerated people being ineligible for SBA loans, so that now we have made it so that previously incarcerated people with convictions will be eligible for SBA loans if they qualify otherwise, but their conviction will not be the reason that they don't qualify. We're doing work that is about talking about affordable home ownership, under the great now past Secretary of HUD, Marcia Fudge. We were able to do some very important work around getting rid of racial disparities around home appraisals. What we know is that black homeowners, it is well documented, often have their home appraised below its value, and it's because of racial bias. And so with the work we're doing to fix that, knowing that home ownership is one of our best ways of achieving intergenerational wealth. So these are the kinds of topics that I'll be raising and discussing on this tour. And starting in Atlanta, I've got some wonderful young brothers in particular who are very successful in business, and I'll be talking with them about their story and what our policies can do to support people like them who just have great ideas, work so hard, but don't necessarily have access to the resources.
Now, this is so important because as you have done it throughout your career, and I think more has been done under the administration that people understand in terms of closing the racial gap in terms of wealth. I think the president, when he did the National Action Network's convention 2 weeks ago, talked about how the gap has been closed more. But as you said, we can't do it without owning land and without getting bank loans. So you coming on the ground doing this could be a game changer.
Well, that's right, because what I've found, Rev, is that, I've been having meetings in Washington in my office and actually in my home. And what I'm finding is that there are a lot of people who just don't know what is actually available to them. And instead of requiring folks to figure that out on their own, I decided I'm going to do a national tour to get out and talk with people. So I'm kicking off in Atlanta. The following two will be, I'm going to go to Milwaukee, I'm going to Detroit, but other cities as well, to be where folks live and let them know about what's available. And the other thing, Rev, that I think you know, is that Joe Biden and I pledged that we would double federal contracts for minority-owned businesses, and we are on track to do that. And, when you get a federal contract, that is an incredible way to grow a business, to grow the economy of a community, much less the health and financial well-being of a household. And so there are a lot of facets to this that include paying attention to the racial wealth gap, but paying attention to it in a way that it's about figuring out what the solutions look like.
And also, you coming as a unique historic figure and certainly a symbol in our community, it also changes the psyche of our young people because they start thinking early about home ownership and about things that they didn't have access to thinking about earlier. It changes the psyche in the community on the ground for young people, and I think that's very important, can't be underestimated.
I agree with you, and I do hope that this tour will encourage people to have more conversations about, well, what are the ways that we can grow wealth? And what are the ways that we can close the racial wealth gap that is also about paying attention to intergenerational wealth, right? Things like family being able to pass a home on to their children and their grandchildren, and what that does in terms of building up equity that allows you to, if necessary, take out a loan or take out equity in your home to pay for the tuition for your kids to go to college, or takes out equity in the home if you have somebody in your family or your children who want to start a small business so they don't have to take out a big loan. There are so many iterations of this, so many ways that this affects people when we increase home ownership, when we increase access to capital, to allow people to accomplish their dreams. And I guess that really is the bottom line about how I'm thinking about this tour, which is, you know, in our community, we don't lack for good ideas. We don't lack for dreams of greatness and success. We don't lack for ambition. But what we often lack is access to the resources that can allow us to achieve those things. And that's what I seek to address.
Last question, because I know you're running, but I appreciate you announcing this here on the show. The fact that if people have businesses that are from the community, home ownership that they own, it also helps us in other areas that you and the president and all of us are concerned about, crime and other things, because when you have a sense of ownership, everybody makes sure that people in the community respects our homes, respect our businesses. We all become part of making things work.
Listen, I have, for a very long time, and you and I have had this conversation many times, what are the attributes of a safe community? Well, some of the attributes of a safe community are high rates of home ownership, thriving small businesses, people who have access to mentors and to civic leaders and community leaders. And when we talk about growing the economy of a community, all of those things are likely to happen. And one of the benefits, to your point, is we create safer communities.
Absolutely. All right. I appreciate your call. I know you're running, but you wanted to take a little while, and I appreciate it. The Vice President.
I wanted to kick it off on your show, Rev.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do. And we're going to be following the whole tour. Vice President Kamala Harris, again, making history. She can't help herself. She makes history. Thank you for being with us. We're going to take a break. I'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.